All right, guys. Good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, sir. Doing good.
Good, 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 good. How many of you are excited for our calculations of the 3 by 3 matrices today? Nobody?
Sir, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. No, but we did one, We did one, and I asked you to do it several ways to see if you get the negative 47.
Oh,
Anybody
yes,
try
sir.
that?
I did it.
And you
Yes,
got it,
sir.
Patrick? And you got it?
Yes, sir.
Shante, you did it too today?
Yes, sir.
Good job. What about the rest? Nikki,
Yes, sir.
you did it? The other methods? No, you never do it. You take
No.
too long to answer. I know. And guess what now? Something inside of you just said to myself, should I tell him yes? Should I tell him no? Should I tell him yes? And you're battling with that inner man, and that's why I just help you out. A while ago, I say, just say no. All right, Tanta, Tanil, good evening.
Evening, sir.
You finish your work?
No, I forgot about it.
Oh my goodness. You just said no, what was Tanta?
Yes, sir.
Oh no, I'm hurt. Tariq, how is it?
I didn't get to do it, sir.
What you know what to do? The whole of UNO that didn't try the other methods, start it now, please. And I'm going to project another question for those who did the homework. Listen to me. Homework is to be done at home.
Sir, what was the homework?
So I did a question to go through the 3 by 3 to calculate the determinant of the 3 by 3 matrix, and they will end up getting 3 2 by 2 matrices. And I went through the whole calculation. I think we got negative 47, if I'm not mistaken. Now, what I said to you is that I want you to try another row or another column or other rows and other columns to see if you end up getting a negative 47. Just to prove to you that whichever row or whichever column you use is not a problem as long as you don't go along a diagonal. So I want to prove that to you before I move on. So start for me, please. You have a question? Let's go.
Sir, I got the minus 47, sir.
Very nice. Was it difficult?
Not at all.
Good job, Papa. Proud of you. Excellent. Let me say to you that always ensure that you try to complete the homework when the homework is given. This is what will differentiate you from.
Sir, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. There.
This is what will differentiate you from being a struggling student and being one that is on top of things. All right. Alrighty. So you didn't get it? Why didn't you get it?
So I get negative 89.
I want you to go through the calculation again. Look back at what we did before. And that's what I wanted you to do from before class. Look back at the calculation and try it again for me. Look back at the calculation and try it again. I gave you the calculations last week. It is for you now to look at the calculations and see exactly what is done. Let me just say something, guys. This is not directed to anybody, but what is important. You see, when you learn a new topic in particular, and you're given something to help you to concretize the working out of that topic, and you don't do it and a couple of days pass, it's as if you have to now relearn the something. And that's what I'm talking about. We don't have time to be relearning. So when I give you work, I want you to be able to complete it. What I'm going to do for you, I'm going to write another question, give Nikki and the others a chance to finish off. If not, I'll take on those two questions again. Well, the question before. So Nikki, try again, honey bunches. You don't try this one yet. Try again and let us see what will happen.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
I got the negative 47.
What?
I got the negative 47.
Okay, good. I thought a bot was coming in there. And just like I asked Tariq, I'm going to ask you, how was it? Was it difficult?
No, sir.
All right, cool. Okay, try that for me, please. Those of you are finished, I want you to try this one for me. I give you a couple minutes. When I feel like you, remember, when you finish, when you feel confident enough to calculate the determinant of a 3x3 matrix, the topic finish. And then I'm finished with this unit. I look back at, in preparation for the class tonight, I look back at the subject we're doing, and I say, but I'm finished. So as long as we can go through the determinant, the calculation of the determinants of a 3x3 matrix, the topic finished. All right, so I give you 5 to complete this one for me, please. You don't really need 5 minutes, but I'm going to give you 5. Start.
Sir, finish.
All right. What about the others?
Yes, sir.
What was the answer?
-6.
-6.
-6. What column did you use or row?
First
I
row.
use the first
Use the
row.
first row.
Yeah, I
Anybody
use the
use it?
second one and get -6.
Anybody use the third row? Anybody use the third? Go ahead. Hmm? Talk to me.
I used the first row, but I did not get.
Use the first, but you didn't get 6. All right. I think I know what your problem is. Anybody use the third row? Anybody use the second row?
First row.
Anybody? Nobody did the second column and the third column, or the first column?
No, sir.
All right, no problem. All right, so those of you who didn't get it, just work with me, please.
Yes, sir. And I got -6 and I got the -47. So I was using the negatives as in the to find the determinant. So I was bringing in the negative.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
The plus minus plus minus plus minus plus you can that the negative sign from zeros?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever you're doing the question, please first put in your array of signs. Don't tell me, sir, I'm going to remember it. I don't want to hear it. I want to see it. Don't tell me, sir, I will remember the plus minus plus minus plus. I don't want to hear it. Show me. I want to see them. I've been a teacher way too long for students to give me that pill and I take it. I'm a teacher way too long for a student to give me that pill and I take it. Nope, not taking that pill. Write it in. Plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. Plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. Start with a plus, end with a plus. So I'm going to be using that column. I'm removing that column. And then in using that column, this is what I'm going to be doing. Minus 0. What will be the matrix?
0, 3, 4, 5.
Very good. 0, 3, 4, 5. I think this is a problem some of you are having. Remember what we're doing, we're taking out the column anywhere the element lies in. So this element is going to be in 1, 2 position. 1, 2, A1, 2, it means that the first row, second column. So everything in the first row and the second column I'm taking out. And that's why I gave it a naming of those stuff. A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. The position of those entries into the question, I'm going to take out. Taking those out because I don't want it. I just remember I invited some of my pre-calculus students to join class. And I didn't tell you, so let me just check to see if any. No, none of them here yet. Tanusha, I don't see the whole of last week. The whole of last week I don't see, and you don't even message me. Okay, so we are about something. All right, so then now, look at what is happening now. Then I'm going to have plus 2. What's the matrix with the plus 2?
1, 2, 4, 5.
Very good. Then I'm going to have minus 0. What's the matrix of minus 0?
1, 2, 0, 3.
Very good. Is there anybody in the class? Is there anybody in the class that has not seen that or has not seen that? Speak now or forever hold thy peace.
I'm not seeing that.
Okay, thank you. So this is my starting point. Where's my green arrow? So look at what is happening. Anywhere in the function. Forgive me. Anywhere in the matrix that element lies. This element is going to be A11, A12. So anything in the first column, in the first row, I don't want. Anything in the second column, I don't want. So what matrix is left? 0, 3, 4, 5. See here? 0, 3, 4, 5. See that? Talk to me now, please.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I see that.
All right. Similarly, I'm now moving to that 2. The 2 in the middle, don't want it. So anywhere, the row and the column that it appears in, I cross it out. The 2 is in the A22 position. Second row, second column, anything in the second row I don't want, anything in the second column I don't want. So what am I left with? 1, 2, 4, 5. You see it right here? Yeah,
Sir,
students.
they're using the 0 and then the 2 and up. All right.
Yes, sit here, I'm going down. No, man, don't get. Oh, it's a shot. Look, man, the arrow here said that I'm using this column. This is a column that I choose to use for my calculation. Some people use the first row, some use the second row, and some use the third row. So remember, you know, I can use the first row, the second row, the third row, or the first column, second column, or third column. So I have 6 different
I'm
ways of
supposed to give you the same answer.
that was your homework, and then you'd have been able to answer that question. Yeah.
I get the same answer then.
You're supposed to get the same answer, and that's why I chose that column. But watch it now. Just watch me, honey. So now I am in this last 0 down here with the A32 position. So anywhere in the function as in the matrix I see the row and the column for that entry or element, I'm crossing it out. So what matrix is left? 1, 2, 0, 3. See it down here, sir? 1, 2, 0, 3. So that's how we do this stuff. That's how we do this stuff. So I often say to students, when I was going to school and was doing Cramers, I wrote my matrix in pen. I wrote my plus minus plus minus plus minus plus in pen. And when I'm doing this stuff, I use a pencil and I cross out until I'm able to just do it into my headspace. So I have to do it in stages. And I suspect you too will have to do it in stages. Let's go. What do you recognize? You recognize what? Do you recognize anything? Hello?
No, sir.
Sir, what do you mean what, sir?
You know, recognize that it's all of them suddenly go to zero.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. You don't recognize that?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. So all you're left with is that. And this one says it's going to be 2 times 1 times 5 is 5 minus 2 times 4 is 8. This works out to be 2 times -3 is equals to -6. So what's the aim? Always use a row or a column that has most zeros. The first row has only 1 0. The second row has only 1 0. The third row has only 1 0. The first column has only 1 0. The last column don't have no zeros, so you need more calculation. The second column has 2 zeros. The only one that has 2 zeros. So the hint is look for the 0 row or the 0 column and work it to finish the question quick time. Everybody see that and agree with me?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Natty, are you okay now with this one that I just did?
No, sir.
Okay, what are you not seeing?
Sir, I see everything that you did, but when I do it, I'm getting it wrong. So I'm
All
not
right.
sure.
Guess what? No, Natty do. You go
Sir.
try it. You know, you go try it again here. You go
Yes,
try it
sir.
again. And I give up on you, so you can't give up on yourself.
Okay, sir.
410 -2 3 negative. And John Mark, are you okay? 0 1 -1.
What up, sir? So,
When say a while ago?
somewhat, sir.
Oh, I thought you said as soft as them, yes, sir. All right, so that's one example. I'm giving it 2 to do for me. I give you a couple of minutes, 5 minutes. Now, please come, start working. I'm stepping away for 2 seconds.
Finished, sir.
What's the answer?
Sir, I
first-
got -14.
For the first one?
Yeah.
And what you got for the second one?
-22.
Yes, sir.
Sir, 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 you know.
Sir,
Hmm?
for the first one, I got -6, and the second one, I got -22.
Sir,
I hear you. Continue. I want you to hear as many of you as possible, so go ahead.
I have -10 for the first one, and I have -22 for the second.
Oh, shoot.
Thank you, Kimoli.
-10 for the first one and -22 for the
This
second one.
you want to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
I have -8 for the first one, and I have the other one for -197.
Mm-hmm. What? Oh, 197.
the first one wrong, so.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me just do some housekeeping before we continue, please. That person who clearly went to that unfortunate school on the wrong side of North Street, right? As there's only one school on North Street, the sky blue. Can you change your name from Casey for me, please? And identify yourself appropriately. Thank you. And just rename yourself for me, please. I know who you are. And Kamisha, welcome. So I have two of my, I'm thinking that Casey person is one of my pre-classes students, but I know I have at least one student who has joined. So Casey, can you rename for me, please? If you don't rename, I have to put in a waiting room.
Sir,
Mm.
I see a mistake. So for number one, I have -10.
Okay. No, you get it right. So yes.
So I have -10
Sir,
and -22.
I have -18.
Yeah. Who is Casey?
One of the past students. So.
Yeah, can you rename yourself for me, please? Put it correctly for me, please.
My Zoom is giving some problems, so I'm unable to do that.
Who is this though?
One of the past students
Who is that?
for the associate program.
From what?
From the associate program.
Oh, that Casey. All right.
Yes.
Can't catch me one way, catch me another.
Indeed.
Okay, just oh, sorry. All right. -10 is correct. -10 is correct. I'm excited for you guys, but I'm a little worried. Not to be on mute for me, please, because you look like you. Listen to me. You get -10.
No, sir.
Nati, what are you doing?
I just get the first one incorrect.
Nati, what are you doing? What row you use, Nati?
For the first one, I use the first row.
If you use the first row, the 4 is -2 and 0.
Wait, what? What?
Number one, this number one right here, so. This number one right here, so.
That
Right
that's at the first one.
Me could jump to this. Did you give an attempt to
Yes,
this
sir,
one?
I did that one and I still get it.
You know get 10, you know get negative 10.
No, sir, and me use the 4 negative 20.
Look how you now get no dinner tonight. Watch and see. And I tell me see eating already, you know.
Sir,
I
so
really eat dinner yet.
All right, good.
the rows them, right?
Say it again.
We can only use the rows them, right?
You can use any row or any column. You can use any row or any column.
Go down.
Watch me. I'm gonna do this with I'm gonna use the first row because Natty used the first row. So I'm gonna use the first row. Watch this. Before we do the calculation, what are we going to be doing?
Put your sign.
All right. So I'm having my plus, my array of signs are very important. So I'm going to have my plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. Then I decide, what am I using? Matty B says she wants to use the first row. So I'm indicating which row she's using, or I'll be using. So look at what is going to happen. I'm going to have 4. Now, watch this. Any column the 4 appears in, and any row the 4 appears in, I am going to take out those numbers, and the matrix that is left is going to be my 3, my 1, my negative 1, and my negative 1. Natty, did you get that?
Yes, sir.
I'm happy. I'm extremely happy. And then, because of, so why you have a positive 2? I have a positive 2 because these two negative signs come together will give me a positive 2 here for my cofactor. Will give me a positive 2 for my cofactor. Positive 2 for my cofactor. All right. Similarly, anywhere the 2 falls in, any column, any row, I'm removing those. What is left? 1, 1, 0, negative 1. Do you recognize, and I feel that some of you are guilty of it, I don't know if Natty is guilty of it, do you recognize that the array of signs only affect the cofactor? It does not affect my 2 by 2 sets of matrices. The array of signs, the plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, only affect the cofactors. The other matrices, they don't affect them. Can you see that? Can you agree with me on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So I
Yes,
was
sir.
going to ask this as that question with the, I think one of the negative ones, but then I work it and it is a little balance.
Mm-hmm. Natty, I'm waiting on you.
I get that part, sir, and I know you said the area signs only affect the full factor or whatever. Sir, I know.
No. Stop it. Whatever. No, no, come tell my maths about no whatever.
Sir.
Sure. You have to pay respect to the maths, you know. Or else the maths will not pay respect to you.
Respect me. Sir, the maths could never respect me, and I made the honest man and I get it right all now.
When you want respect, what must you do first?
Sir, give respect.
Okay, thank you. And I really hope that everybody in the class is hearing that, right? When you want respect, you have to first give it. All right, let's go. And then no, I'm gonna have my, I'm taking off that. Then I'm gonna talk about my zero. That goes, this goes. So I'm gonna have plus 0. I'm gonna let it 1, 3, 0, and -1.
Sir.
Yes, please.
Isn't it that the 0 is not supposed to be mentioned since it will give you 0?
Very good.
Yes, sir.
So look at what happened. Excellent. So look at what happens now. This I don't need to write. Look up here. I was bringing across a point right here. You see those two that are crossed out? I don't need those because 0 times anything is going to be 0. So all that I needed to have written in the first example was just this matrix, and which is why selecting a 0 row is critical, because you know the other terms are going to work out to be 0. All right, so you don't have to even go through the time and find 0 times all that. I'm only now teaching you the topic, and I want you to recognize what is happening. I'm only now teaching you the topic, and I want you to recognize what is happening. All right. Now, what I'm going to be left with, is this 4. I'm calculating the determinant of that 2 by 2 matrix. It's going to be 3 times -1 is -3. Not to be. Come take the eye off of the TV and look at me.
Sir, I'm now watch the TV.
All right, cool. So 3 times -1 is -3, minus the minus sign. Always separate your AB minus BC. And then this 1 times -1 is -1. Then we're going to have plus 2 into -1 times 1 is -1 minus 0. So what you're going to have now is 4 minus 3 plus 1 plus 2 times -1. This is 4 times -2 plus 2 times -1. That's -8 minus 2 is equal to -10. And that there would be my answer. That there would be my answer. Natty, where did you go wrong?
Sir, no, because I did a bit.
No, but you say that. No, but.
Oh, I know that somebody that have 18, so I know say it did wrong.
So you erase what you had before?
Yes, sir. I did have to check the page. Sir, I get every one of them wrong, you know?
Don't worry about it, Natty. That's not my concern, you know. What I just asked you a while ago. Tell me what I asked you a while ago. And I want the rest of you to listen to. All right. Hold on, Natty Boo. I want the rest of us to listen to the conversation that Natty B and I have now. So, Natty, what sir just asked you a while ago?
Sir, where I went wrong.
And what was your response to me?
Sir?
What was your response? Were you able to tell me where you went wrong?
No, sir, because I erased
Why?
it.
Very good. Because you erased it. That's not how one learns mathematics. I mean, I keep saying to my students, We learn mathematics. They say, no, sir, we practice maths. We want to study maths. No, sir, we don't study maths. We practice maths. When you practice what you don't study, I won't tell you what will be the result. Here, what is happening now. When you do a question, and the question is incorrect, you put a line. Look at my screen right now and see if you see a red line going through something.
Yes.
Can you see that, Nathan? We'll put one line to it. It's not liquor school where the teachers will take your notebook and give you a ticket from one end of the page to the other end of the page. I say, hate when teacher do that. Lazy, no one the individual or something. Come, you don't want enough ticket. Come when you go to school, you used to take the book and say, me brighter than you. Them say, Them say, all right, bring your book, make count how much ticket you have. So brightness for us was how many ticks you had in your book. So we hated when teachers give only one big ticket, as opposed to they get 10 questions and them say, all right, all of them right, and give one big ticket, you think we want 10 tickets in my book. Not to be, we're not going to take your book and mark ticket, Your notebook is for your personal use. So put a line through it, and it's not only alone, honey bunches. We only talk to you because we roll different. I want you, when you make an error, to put a line through it so that when you are revising, you can see the error or errors that you once made and not to make those errors again. So there's no learning experience in this, what it is that you did a while ago, not to be. Because guess what? You can now go back and make the same errors that you made before. So I want all of you, it's not just not to be alone, because it's learn this, and textbook me read this and tell me saying I'm supposed to erase something, I learn this. Learn it of my own experience. You rub out what it is that you do, you can't see it. There's no learning experience from it. All right, so going forward, we're going to put a line through it. The book is not going to look untidy. We need to learn from our mistakes, so it is that we don't make those mistakes again. Let's go. All right, Natty, so I want you to, so when you look at what I have, Natty, you understand that though, right? Hello?
Sir?
When you look at what I have, you got that, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. Right, I was going to each up number 2 right here, so but I have a lot of pages. Let me just go down to here.
But sir,
Yes, please.
what is one with the 0? If it's a case where it's not going to be used, so why even address it in the first place?
Because
it's no need. There's no need to address it because it doesn't fit the problem, sir.
Yeah, I know. So what it is that I'm doing here is also show the main aim of me writing this part here. All right, let me go back up.
I know the issue, sir. We all can see the issue, which is a 0 in that row.
Yeah.
So we can all identify the issue, but the thing is that it doesn't play a part in the solution, in the determinant, sir. So then why address the issue?
And it sure doesn't. So what I'm saying is, why I wrote it here, because students were using the first row, some were using the second row, some were using the third row. No student in the class when I canvassed said to me that they use the first column, second column, or third column. All right. So what I wanted students to recognize is to always go for the 0 column or the 0 row. So that's the point I was trying to bring across, which is why I think I highlighted it in green, which is why I highlighted that I'm going to be using that one, just to show them what is happening here. And the only reason I wrote this is because I wanted students to recognize how it is that we arrive at our 2x2 matrix by eliminating the row and the column that the cofactors appear in. So that's the only reason I wrote it there. So soon and very soon, you're going to see me not write that anymore. Like in this question here, number 2, right? So the point I'm making is, point I'm making is when you have a 0 row or a 0 column,
Yes,
run
sir.
for it. So let me just make a notation right here. Hint. And I want my hint to be look for the 0 row or column. Very important. So why is it so important? Doesn't matter, because if I use a
Because
the
you
one
can
that
use any other row or
any
column.
other row or column,
Exactly.
but right here, look at what happens here. Where am I? Oh, right here. Right here.
Yes, sir.
For this column, I wouldn't want anybody to go ahead and use column 3 because it's going to be way too much calculation. You know what will happen? Somebody who recognizes that I can use a 0 row, 0 column can do the calculating in one shot, and a minute after you get your answer and say, sir, the answer is -6. The person is still working right here. And because they have so much calculation to do right here, the likelihood of you making a mistake is even increased, greater increased. So what I want you to do for me is to
It's
always look
kind
for
of
the
messed
0
up though,
row.
sir.
Why?
Because in any case, for any exam that that we'll be doing for this course, sir, maybe we're not getting any 0 for it.
Yeah, and that's understood. But you know, for the purposes of a multiple choice test, they will not give you a question where you'll have all that long work to do. They will give you one where you will have a 0 row or a 0 column for the purpose of a multiple choice, which is a 1 marker. So for
I
a 1 mark,
understand.
yeah. For a 1 mark question, they may give you something like that. So I have to show, we call it the cheekiness in doing the question. All right. So let us look at this here now. Let us look at this. So I have 1, 9, 11. Let me write it. 1, 9, 11, 0, 34, 18, 0, 5, 2. Very important that having written your matrix, the next step is to put your plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus in your in your matrix. Always assign your array of signs in the matrix. You see, anybody who don't assign it, I end up getting the question wrong, I won't even look for where I can give you a little mark or two. The whole question will be wrong for you.
Even if we take a different approach and arrive at the exact answer, sir.
Even so, I want you to write your array of signs. I know why I tell you to write the array of signs, because when you become seasoned in doing the determinants, you're going to be having we call it now. Sometimes you can make an error by putting a minus sign when you're supposed to be a plus sign, and vice versa. And a question such as this, you don't play with to lose marks. So always write your array of signs. Now, tell me, based on what I told you just now, which row or column is the best one to use?
Serious, sir.
First,
The first column, right?
column, yeah.
Why the first column?
Because it has the most zeros.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. So, what's the 2 by 2 matrix? Tell me.
34.
34, 18, 5, and 2.
34, 18, 5, and 2. Very good. Excellent. Do I put the array of signs in here, so?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Hold on a minute. Natty, where are they?
Natty B.
Natty B?
Sir, may I watch where I do?
Make sure you know.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Then 1, then I'm calculating the determinant of this 2 by 2 matrix. 34 times 2 is 68, I think. Minus, what is 18 times 5?
90.
And what is 68 minus 90?
Negative 22.
Excellent. And that's our answer. It's really no hard. It really no hard. All right. So we just heard, sir, life is a little bit more than just giving us 1 with a 0, 1, 0 column, because in real life, you may not get that. I may agree 100%. In real life, you may not get that. Now, T, you still awake?
Yes, sir.
Cool. 3, 1, 1, negative 1, 2, negative 5, and call that about 7. All right, I give you 5 minutes. Now to B, come, I want you to work on this one. Select any row, any column. Any row, any column. Start for me, please.
Sir, that's -5, right?
Yeah, man.
Sir,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
sir, I think I got the answer, but I'm not sure if it's correct.
What you got?
Well, based on the approach that I took, it was a very difficult one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but I got negative 164.
All right. Hold on to that one for me. Let me see what the rest of you.
But I would not know where it is exactly that I went wrong, sir.
No, that's fine. That's what I said. Don't do anything yet. Let me just hear what the others already say. What you can do rather is just maybe to look through again.
Yes,
to see if
that's what I'm trying to do, but it's not really making sense to me, sir.
Well, don't touch it then. Let me make it stay then. Don't touch
Exactly. Okay, sir.
it. Mm-hmm.
Sir,
Mm.
sir, I get -164.
So you will get negative 164 too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, maybe you are correct. Natty dreadlocks of a some type of living. Oh, you say Natty?
Sir, my almost finished.
Nice. Tariq, you're silent. John Mark,
Sir,
where are you?
sir, I got the negative 164.
So talk to teacher, no man, and tell teacher what
Sir,
I
two
Hmm.
finish, sir, two finish.
Nikki, if you think say you go sit in the my class and gallivant and I watch your IG and them something there, tell teacher where you get.
Then when I get that,
You get.
negative 56.
Okay, all right. Just check up in the meantime. Shante, where you get?
Sir, negative 160.
Okay, that sounds like a very familiar and friendly answer. J. Yeah.
Sir, when one question said when a negative sign fall above a negative number, it change to positive.
Magic. Yeah. Same way so.
Oh, people get that. Maybe I may go wrong too.
La Forest. Matthew?
Sir, may I recheck my answer? Negative 91 again.
Yeah, but you are not allowed to come to class and don't talk to teacher. You know that, Matthew. Manisha, what's up?
Sir, I'm checking.
Okay, the one you hold you, Manisha. The one you hold you, stay held. Amelia, you feeling better today? Katrina's on silent to me again.
Sir, I'm checking.
Okay. Sharika, how you feel? How you stay?
Sir, I'm still working.
Okay. Foxy,
Yes, sir. So I get negative 164.
so you say, all I will get my answer and sit down there and talk to me. You come and take on the lunch money. Starting with Miss Fox.
Sir, I'm checking now. I got negative 100.
All right, no problem. Tanuja, on mute, please.
Sir, I'm rechecking.
I don't see the whole of last week.
Me get negative 100 to say.
Okay, no problem. Tanusha, I don't see the whole of last week.
Sir, I got negative 164.
Very good. Okay, all right, nice. Love that.
Sir, I get negative 160.
John Mark, that's what you got?
Yes, sir.
All right. And how about Kamisha? Talk to teacher. Thanks for joining. Wait, where you get? Okay. I guess it's that intriguing. Timoli!
Yes, sir.
You had
Sir,
answered me?
answer you.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you. That's why I called you a while ago to see if you answered me. I don't remember. It's 20 how much only in the class. All right. Thank you, CDB. Thank you for answering. All right. So without any further ado, the negative 164 looks like a correct answer. Natty B.
Sir,
What you get?
so I got negative 164.
Natty B, where you get? Natty B, where you get?
Sir, negative 164.
Put on the book and jump up and down and scream.
No, sir.
What do you
No,
mean, no?
no, sir.
Very good, Natty. No. Yes, for night. Very good, Natty. No, you
Sir.
see, yes, Papa.
Since all of them does not have a zero in it, and all of them look complicated, sir. How would you know which one is the best to choose?
You can't.
Exactly. So you would just have to just pick one.
Anyone.
Okay.
Sir,
So-
can it with the second column, please?
You want me to use the second column?
Yes, sir.
All right. How much you paying?
Sir, I don't have no money.
But you can't make a request and no money. All right,
Sir,
let's go. All right, let's go, Nikki. Let's go. All right. So when I don't have a zero row or a zero inside as an element, once I have 1 0 in a row or a column, I'm running for that row or column with the 0. If I have more zeros in a row or a column, I'm going to run for the one with a greater number of zeros. When I don't have any zero at all in my matrix, the question is going to be a little bit more tedious. Not difficult, you know. It's going to require just a little unsy more energy, little sweat power. All right, so let's go. Let's go. So I'm using the second column. So look at what happens for the second column. My array of signs, I have my -6. And then I'm going to have my matrix. What's the matrix for the -6?
I roll my name into sorry.
3, 1, 2, 7.
And the one we're using, we started already, the one we're going to use 3127. And then this one is going to be +1. What's the matrix?
4227.
4227 is correct. And this is going to be, this is going to be +5. So why +5? Because I end up with these two negative numbers here. And these two negative numbers when multiplied together will give me a +5. So I'm going to have +5. Into 423 -1. So now I'm going to say -6, 3 7s 21, +2, +1, 4 7s 28, -4, +5, -4, -6. -6 times 23, +1 times 24, +5 times -10. 6 3s are 18, 6 2 7 1 38, +24, -50, 26. And then I'm going to have 130.
-188 plus 24. So
Yeah.
it's -164.
Is equals to -164. That's your answer. Natty. Oh no, sorry, not you, Natty. You did say that you got it. Is there anybody in the class that didn't get it at all?
Yes, sir. And I did it 3 times.
And
Let me use the second row. I'm gonna get 104. I'm doing more than one.
Hold on 1 minute, please. All right. Are we okay? Sorry, somebody was talking about the negative 164. Who was saying that they did it 2 times, 3 times? Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I didn't get it either.
You didn't get it. You didn't get it. You didn't get it. You didn't get
Second row, sir.
it. Nikki,
Yes, sir.
leave me alone. Goodness. All right. Just for your sake, listeners, this is just so persistent. Second row, sir. Second row, sir. Second row. Second row. Negative 3. And matrix is going to be 6 to negative 5, 7. And then plus 1. And then it's going to be 4, 2, 2, 7. And then that's going to be positive 1 again. Sir, why is it that you get a positive 1? Got a positive 1 because of these 2 negative numbers multiplied together to give me a positive number. And the matrix is going to be 4, 6, 2, negative 5. Negative 3 times 6 sevens.
40.
And 5 times 2 is 10. Remember, I'm going to end up with two negative signs inside the middle. So that's why that becomes positive 10. Plus 1, 4 7 is 28, minus 4, plus 1, that's negative 20, minus 12, negative 3 times 52, plus 1 times 24, plus 1 times negative 32. And then I'm going to say 52 times 3 sounds like 156, plus 24, minus 32. 156 negative minus 32 is 188. I'm going to subtract 24 from that. I'm going to get negative 164. Doesn't matter which row or which column you use, your answer will be the same.
Let me see.
You see it now?
Yes, sir.
Are there any questions? Are there any questions?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Sir, I believe I did get it right, but I was doubting myself, sir.
Why?
I don't know. I figured at some point I would make a mistake, and in the end I would get a different answer.
Well, this should have boosted your confidence in that you are on the right track.
Thank you, sir.
Very good. 3 0 10. 3 0 10. 5 7 negative 4. And I'll put a negative number in there. And one of those. So 3 0 10. 5 7 negative 4 negative 2. Let me ask a question before you start working this. Where would you start the question?
Second column.
Or?
First row.
Very good. All right, start for me, please. Very good.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is it where a number you can get where it's too big?
No, we can't look at the matrix itself to see whether or not you have a positive number or a negative
No,
number.
I'm talking about the number itself, sir. If it passes a certain amount, you'd have
No, that's what I'm saying. So you can't look at the matrix to see whether or not it's a positive number or a negative number. a
Yes,
big
sir.
number, a small number.
Yes,
No, it's just no, not being able to do that.
Will I get the answer, sir?
Hold it 1 minute and then give some Natty B an opportunity to tell me what it is that you should
Yes,
get.
sir.
Sorry, I can't get a number like the number. The number, never mind. Sir, I get one number, but it big.
All right, so Corey asked a question earlier, and somebody tried to unmute to ask a question. Then I'm hearing, sir, I get to know what the number big. Um, you know, um, fret not, fret not. You will be fine. You'll be perfectly fine. Don't worry about the big number. All right, tell me what big number you got.
713.
713. What
Sir,
other
it's
big number?
not that
Same.
big.
Same.
What you got?
Sir, I not that me get.
I didn't get that.
Sir, I didn't get that.
I didn't get that.
Okay, so tell me what you got.
Sir, I got 929.
929.
Sir, I got 929.
God, God.
Sir,
Sir,
me get 882.
Okay,
Sir, I got 251.
okay, okay.
Mr. Sean,
Yes, sir.
I did get 929 at the time, but since I'm seeing that the other classmates might have not been getting the same, I would think that probably the approach to solving the question is the issue.
I think, I think, I think, I think. I think you I think you may be correct. Let me look back at the question.
Maybe it's
I
not
think it's
really.
the signs.
I know, no,
Yeah.
that's exactly where I was going to
Yeah,
go.
the science. Sensor.
So you know what is going to happen? Some of you may need to get a dip. So a dip where? Into the ocean.
Sir, maybe the science got the science give me problems. Let me get
The
the
science
things
give it problems? All right, no problem. No problem. No problemo, no problemo, no problemo, no problem. Let us go through the let us go through the question. Let us go through the question. All right. Now, what I'm happy about is that whether or not you guys plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, whether or not you guys answer the question right, you know, I like the fact that class-wide, you know, most of you are participating, you know, giving me some suggestions.
Sir,
Yes, please.
I got -187.
Minus 187. All right, no problem. Thanks for your effort. Thanks for your effort. Now, let me go. So we are using, I want to use the first row. I'm using the first row. And I'm going to say 3. I'm going to say 3, 7, -4, 9, and 11. All agreed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then I'm going to say 10, 5, 7, -2, and 9. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But sir, you leave out the minus 0 is 0. So when I multiply that, I'm going to get naught. I'm going to get naught. So that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Let's go. 3 times 11 times 7 is 77, minus 4 9 36, minus a -36. I'm going to do it that way so that you can see what is happening. And at 5 times 9 is 45, minus a -14. 3 times 77 plus 36 plus 10 times 45 plus 14. And this is going to be 3 times 110, I believe. No, 7, 3, 10, and 111, yeah. Plus 10 times 40, 59. It's going to be 3.
Sir, I think you.
Sir, 113.
It's 113, sir.
I put that there to see if you're paying attention. Very good. 113.
Sir, right.
There you go. I put that right there to see if you're paying attention because I really wanted to see how many of you would have gotten that question right. So that's 113 times 3. That looks like 339.
Yes, sir.
And then this is going to be plus 59. And then we add a 0 there. And that plus 590 is going to give me 929.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Clap,
All right.
clap.
Clap, clap, clap. And sir. Now, I want you to look at it. And I want you to.
Sir, so what is it that we're supposed to do is the problem that we would be having is.
Sir, you know I'm gonna get the.
No, come on, hold on. No, hold on. Somebody was speaking. Sorry. Hold a question. Continue.
No, man, it's okay. It's okay, sir. She can go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so nobody more talking now?
What I was saying, sir, is that the issue was for everybody, or most people that didn't get answer was the sensor.
Yeah, I think I know where the problem lies. And if students would be honest enough, they would tell me that the problem existed right here and
Yes, sir.
right here. Those are where I believe the problems would have existed because
Yes, sir, because for even for the first one that you did for 7 times 11, that's 77, and then you would normally have it in your head that a minus is supposed to go there, but you
right.
already do the calculation for 9 times 4, which is times negative 4, which is negative 36. So
And it's
you
changed to
just
the
put,
positive.
no, you say you forgot to change it to the positive. Yes, sir.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but that comes though with mathematical maturity though. So, but yes, you are correct. I am I am I am I'm a little I'm a whole lot concerned. There are 21 of us, 22 of us in here now. One person just left, 22 of us in here now. And I think of the 22, I may be hearing from about 10 students. So there is still a greater number of you that are yet to speak. I have no clue where your headspace is. I have no clue the level at which you're at. And the same way as I don't have any clue, I'll say to you that I have no clue for where you're at with the other areas. And I'm going to say it again, students, it's important, very important for you to become an active member of your class and not a passive member. And you know, I dare one of you who, especially silent, will say, oh, them can't talk. So every time the question and you not say, I dare one of you say that. Let me hear you. So I can silence you for sure. I want to hear you speak. I want to hear you guys speak. This is the only way I will know that you're truly understanding and following what it is that I'm doing. It's very important. So I'm not 100% comfortable with you and these calculation of determinants calculation.
Can you get 5 minutes to do something, please?
Say it again?
Can you get 5 minutes, please?
Oh, sure. When you come back, here's a question that's going to be there for you. Yes, please.
So we're going to use this now and go solve the other problem the way they talk about.
Yeah, man. Is it this now? The determinants that we are do to solve the other part of the question, a pair of this we have to go do. So when we get into solving the system of linear equations, it's pure determinants we are calculate. So Matthew, if you know understand to calculate the determinants now, I can't move into the other areas, the other area, because you're going to struggle with the other area because the other area is only the determinants alone we're calculating. So when I'm solving a system of linear equations using Cramers, it means that I'm using my determinants to solve the equation. And I'm using the determinants of a 3x3 matrix. So if you are challenged in calculating the determinant of a 3x3 matrix, now you are going to be so challenged in calculating the 3x3 matrix in the question. And I prepare to stay here and get you to a point where you feel a little bit more comfortable before I move over there. Because when I move over there, I'm just going to be adding maybe one or two more. I'm going to be adding to one or two more things that we're doing because the syllabus says that we need to use the augmented matrix. Lord Jesus, sir, what is an augmented matrix? That's the point. So I need to build a little bit more on the information that I have, but think about it. If the foundation ain't there, there's no building that will take place. All right. So I'm going to give you one, and I'm going to ask you to. I'm going to ask you to. Whoopsie daisy, you are too bold. I don't want such a bold. I'm going to ask you to evaluate this one for me. All right, start with me, please.
Sarah got an answer.
Already, Tyreek?
Yes.
No, man, you're going wicked.
Yes, I get 62.
You hear her answer while ago, I've been like, Tyreek,
Sir, I
what do you
got
think?
An answer too.
Okay,
Minus 166.
okay, all right, I
Sir,
hear
I
you.
also got negative 166.
Same thing we get to, sir.
Nice,
Yes,
much
sir.
good. Hmm. Ah, yes, sir, John Mark, I hear you. Um, Nikki, what sayest thou?
So I get 62.
Nikki, Cree, you know play the game right. Check it over, Nikki. Check it over. Natty gone her bed left me, Natty, wake up.
Sir,
Wake, get for the answer.
sir, I get minus 166.
Oh, Natty, eat some food I wanna go, don't. Talk
No,
truth.
sir.
Jesus. You smell the food, don't.
Sir, I don't eat any food.
So what you doing? Tell me what you doing, Natty.
Sir, I'm not doing anything. Sir, me I do what I been I do from all long, but I just never did it. Me just like get it now.
Well, guess what? You see, anything you start doing, Natty Boo, I so me
Yes,
want you to continue to do it. Yeah, man. So for water, you go drink more water. All right? Very nice. Yes, negative 166 tariff and others is correct. Yes, Casey, I'm seeing that. John Mark.
I got that as well.
Very nice. I am happy. What time is it? This is 7:40. I'm happy. Sharika. Sharika. Oh my Lord, I'm feeling good. Very nice. All right. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. The messages are coming in. I love it. Let me ask you a question. Do you think it is time for me now to add a thing more to it? Natty, let me ask you. You think I should add a little thing more to it now, Natty, or one more for the road? Your call, Natty.
Sir, what do you mean add a little more thing to it? What do you mean?
I mean that I will go a little deeper into it, because there's one other area for me to do to finish off the topic, to finish off this unit.
No,
So
sir. Sir, one for the road, but then next week, wait, not next week, Friday, so you go deeper in.
Oh yeah, not at all. No.
Make it concrete down in this, sir.
Natty Boo, I can't agree with you. I have to disagree with you. All right. So I can go up until 8 o'clock. I can go up until 8 o'clock to.
So where you gonna do hard?
No man, I promise you.
I want to look at something.
One look at something.
All right, so you can start it now, so we can then we can concrete that. You know?
Yeah man, I want to look at something. Man. Trust me, you know I don't tell lies. I'm too close.
It's not, sir. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh Lord. You know who I've not seen for quite a while? It's Alpha Ranker. Anybody talk to Danny?
Sir, I get to know, sir.
You get it now?
Today.
She was at school. She was at school today?
I said she was talking in bio group today.
Oh, I don't recall seeing. Yes, please.
Sir, I think her data she use, so she always have internet problems.
Ah, yes, that's the problem. Yeah, but I forgot. She miss out too much. You know, the recordings are there, so. But no, man, don't want to know. All right. So I thank you, Miss Natty B, for allowing me to.
Hold on.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes,
The
John.
one in the staff.
The one in the south.
No, sir, may I get wrong answer?
Okay, so you're not getting a negative 166. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. I can go through the question, and when I'm finished going through this question, then I'll go to the other thing that I promise is just a little tips of info that I'm going to be adding. One little tips. It's not like Natty B when they say put a tips of salt in the pot. She can't it. They know she can't cook, right? Right, Natty B?
No, sir. No, sir. You're wrong. You're wrong, sir.
All right. Plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, and a plus. Remember, you always put your array of signs. Can't go wrong. You have to make sure that the array of signs are there. The array of signs must be there. Must be there. Okay. So let us go. Let us go. So I am looking for my zero row, my zero column. I don't care what it is. I don't want to have no whole heap of calculations to do. I'm very sorry. So I'm looking for my zero row and my zero column. So I'm going to be using, I can't bother go across here. I'm going to go down. So I'm going to use my first column. The 0 is 0. I don't need it, so I'm going to start with my -3. When I start with my -3, I'm going to have 5218. I'm going to press pause right here and see if you agree with me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good. And then this is going to be +4. And that is going to be 5291. All right. And then this is going to become -3 into 8 times 5 is 40, -2, +4 into 5 1 is 5, -2 9s are 18. Is -3 into 38 +4 into -13. And then I'm gonna have 38 times 3. It looks like 3 8 7 4 6 is 9 10 11 114 -114. And also I'm gonna have 4 times 13 look like 52. So that could be a -52. -56, -66, -166. There you go.
Sir, I can get one more question, please.
Oh, no problemo, no problemo, no problemo. The pleasure is mine. Número 6. Número 6. Número 6. I am going to ask you to evaluate this for me. I am going to be very cheeky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Aha. There you go. Yes, please.
I don't think that is something that is solvable.
You don't think that is solvable? Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Sir,
I'm right here.
sir, I'm gonna ask you the question, you know, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Okay, fine.
So you can continue working.
No, you must start work.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
sir, I got the answer.
You get the answer already? All right, hold it. Very nice.
Yes, sir. I was wrong.
All right, so let me go on down. Let me see and the question.
Session?
Yes, sir. I'm hearing you.
Yeah,
What?
I thought it was something that was not solvable.
Okay.
Yeah,
What is what for your
because
answer?
it's zero, but I figured it would be because it's like a continuous sequence.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, sir, but I'm just.
That's what you got, 0. All right. Nikki, what you got?
Negative 22.
Okay. So
Sir, I got 0.
I got 0.
You got 0?
I got 0.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
0, I get 2.
Girl, I see when somebody face her other question.
Nikki, you said you're making those comments. Please make sure you mute here. Natty D. Natty B. Don't leave Nikki alone. Where's my family already?
Sir, I got 0.
You got 0?
Yes, sir, I got 0 too.
0 me get.
0 get?
Yes, sir.
Well, Nikki, if you come sit on me. Nikki!
Sir, I got 0.
We got 0.
0, sir.
0. Nikki, we get. I mean, you say anything against Nikki?
What is there?
You see anything yet?
9, 10, 11, 12.
All right. My system has acted up. I don't know if you can see. Can you see my circle going around and around and around and around?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It is.
Yes, sir.
Tinder, I was having a class on Saturday, and this thing is going around on the computer from Saturday. I have not shut down the computer since Saturday, and I don't know what does that mean. So I think, and I don't want to lose my information. So I guess but if I shut down now, all right.
Wait. 42 minus 6.
Let's switch the class to my cell phone and then shut down and start up again.
Alright, sir, me get the number.
You get it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see that for the shut down because. Do me a favor. All right, what I'm trying to do is to switch my trying to switch my okay. I may just go off for half a second and switch it. All right, so you don't even know that I did the switch. The switch was seamless. So I am going to just, oh Lord, and I don't even save this, you know. All right, you know what? If I'm Saturday this evening and I can't wait any longer, I'm just going to click restart. Can't wait any longer. Force shutdown. What did you say? Save. Just put it back on. Put it in semester one and put it in integrated class. And just like that. Boom. No, it's not responding. All right. Is there anyone in the class who did not get 0 for the determinant right there?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What you got?
So I got a totally different answer.
I'm coming. I'm actually forced restarting my system. It's who just said I got a totally different answer. Tanisha, that was you?
Yes, sir.
You may follow your biology, miss. All right.
Sir, I got some things in the negative. So I'm going to retry again and come back.
right, so the system is up. Let me see what is happening here. Lost information. All right. This is the reason I always have two devices logged on in here. But unfortunately, it's just one device that I can share from. I tried sharing from the other device using this software. Okay. All right. It's nice of you to tell me that I wouldn't stop the shutdown. Let's see what happens now. In the meantime, Tanusha, are you checking over the stuff?
Yes, sir. I got the 0 now.
Lady, I'm proud of you. Is there anyone in the class then that is without the 0? Because since everybody got the 0, I'll not do the question. Seeing that I've lost some time trying to get access to my document. Come on, I need to. True. All right, so while I wait on that to come up. So what I'm going to be doing now is to I think you guys are getting at it in terms of the knowing how to appropriate the array of signs. It's so important. The array of signs are very, very important. I don't want anybody to treat it very, um, neglect it or don't give it the respect that it's due. Very, very, very important. Very, very, very important. So what I want to do with you, and this thing is taking a while to get up. What I want to do with you is to get you to a point where you are going to be solving now a system of linear equations using matrices, solving a system of linear equations using matrices. Now, everything that we have been doing, and in particular what it is that we did just now since the start of class tonight, is what we'll be using to solve, to assist us in solving the system of linear equations. This meeting authorized attendees only. This thing is taking way too long to boot up. Then exactly what is going to happen when this thing happens like this. All right, so now here goes. So I'm just going to give you a traditional question for us to work on, and then from that we will just look at trying to solve one of those equations. So what is going to happen is I'll give you a system of linear equations, and from that system of linear equations, you will have to write the system of linear equations into a matrix form. When you move to, because you guys are CUBE students. When you move to the university, when you move to the university and or maybe even unit 2 of the pure math, you will be given the system of linear equations to solve. And then you will have a method, I think it's one of the 200 courses in mathematics at the university, that you'll be given the augmented matrix to use row echelon. Or if they may call it just Gordon elimination method. Right? So the GAUSS Jordan elimination method is another such method that we can use to solve the system of linear equations. In this here case, we are going to be looking just at the solution for now of the system of linear equations, the 3x3 system of linear equations. All right. My document is at a stage where it says that it is opening, but it's just not opening up for me. So let me see if I can go to my whiteboard on Zoom. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So because that thing is not working for me, and I don't have time to waste, let me go ahead and okay, so oh Lord. Was it this class that I was in on Friday and and this thing wasn't working? Okay, it's come up now. So I give you oh boy. Anybody see what is happening on the screen? This thing is not.
Sir, we just see here is something.
Yeah, because it's not.
Okay.
Oh boy. When it rains, it pours. All right. All right. So that's my system of linear equations. It's not my best device to write on, but it is what it is that we have for now. So I have all of those equations 1, 2, and 3. And we are aiming now to solve this using a matrix method. We are solving this using a matrix method. And a matrix method that we're going to be using will be Cramers. Right? So the first thing I'm going to be doing is converting my system of linear equations into a matrix. Watch me. I'm going to say 2, 5, 3, 1, 2, -1. Oh, come on. There is a liar. Three, -4, 6, X, Y, Z is equal to 6, 3, 8. All right. I feel like I just learned to write. Look at what I have in that line and tell me if you agree with me, or tell me if you see how it is that I was able to make that transition from one step to the next.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any questions regarding what I just did?
Yes, sir. The XYZ something. Where do that? You just put them down based on the order them give.
You remember we did that matrix multiplication last class?
Yes, sir.
Let us see if we can do a multiplication here. Let us see if we can do a multiplication here. What matrix is this one? The first one?
3 by 3.
3 by 3.
What?
3 by 3. 3 by 3.
Right, that 3 by 3 matrix. Thought I heard 2 by 3. And it's being multiplied by what kind of matrix?
3 by 1.
3 by 1.
A 3 by 1. Very good. Now, you'll recognize that these two are the same. So therefore, my result is going to be a 3 by 1 matrix. My result is going to be a 3 by 1 matrix. And when I get a 3 by 1 matrix, I know that the multiplication is compatible. That's the point I'm trying to make. I know that the multiplication is compatible. All right, but what I want you to look at now. Let us try, Matthew, the matrix multiplication. Seeing that we know that it is compatible, let us try the multiplication. 2 times x is 2x plus 1 times y is 1y plus 3 times z is 3z. And of course, that is equal to 6 up here. Let us try the second row. 5 times x is 5x. 2 times y is 2y. And negative 4 times z is negative 4z. Let us try the last one. This thing is very sensitive. Now I realize. 3 times x is 3x. Negative 1 times y is negative y. And 6 times z is 6z. And that's equals to 8. So you see how it is that I break it up from the system of linear equations now to a matrix?
Yes, sir.
Very important. Now here what? You see that 3 by 3 matrix there, so? When we can calculate the determinant of that for me. Start now for me, please. So that's what it is that we're doing. We're going to be calculating the determinant of that one now. And that's what we're going to do the question in order to finish the question. All right, so start calculating the determinant of that matrix. 2, 1, 3, 5, 2, negative 4, 3, negative 1, 6. Thank you.
30 and negative 59.
What is what?
Negative 59.
Negative 59.
Let's see.
Sir, I got negative 59, sir.
So I got negative 59.
All right, everybody else got the negative 59. I'm unable to work the question because I shut the system down, started up back, and now it's giving me the same problem. Same issue. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
Yes, I got negative 59.
Nice. So without even doing the question, if you want to favor that negative 59 sound like the correct answer, too many of you are getting that answer. Anybody get anything that is different from the negative 59? Can you give me the equation again, please? What's the first equation? Can somebody read the question for me, please?
2x plus y.
I didn't hear that. Say it again.
2x plus y plus 3 plus
I'm not hearing you.
2x plus y plus 3z equals 6.
Okay. Second one.
5x plus 2y minus 4z equals 3.
And the third.
3x minus y plus 6z equals 8.
Plus minus. Oh, come on. Plus minus plus. All right, 7.5, 2. 2, negative 4, negative 1, I don't know what is wrong with this minute. And I really don't have problems. -1 into 5 -4 5 -4 3 6 plus 3 back into -1 5 2 3 -1. All right. And then this is going to become 2 into 12 -4 -1 into 30 plus 12 plus 3 into -5 -6 2 plus 8 -1 into 42. Something to try me this afternoon. 42 plus 3 into -11. It's a 16 minus 42 minus 33. Does it copy answer? -59?
Yes, sir.
Am I on the right track so far?
Yes, sir. Excellent.
All right. I'm getting -59. All right, I'm gonna stop right here because this seems really I don't know what is wrong with the stuff. And it's really trying me, it's 8:30. Within 8:30. All right, so get -59. What I'm gonna do for you, I'm gonna complete working the question how I want it to be worked. I'm gonna type it up and send it off to you. You look over it for me between now and Friday. So come Friday, all being well, we will have a little bit more to go through. All right, and I apologize for my failing devices tonight.
Okay, sir.
No problem, sir.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care, sir.
Bye,
Take
sir.
care.
Bye, sir.
Bye, honey.